Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, got a cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milkshake wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The Black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nick White.
We're back from our Goose Island adventure.
Oh, man. It feels like it just happened. Bourbon County 2021, the virtual tasting.
Well, less than a week ago now. So
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the bus, the barrel bus that comes and drops these things off.
yeah,
It's becoming a fall tradition. Like, we never have to do it in person now. Because in person, and I sound like a snob, but, they give you these little snacks in person.
right.
Like charcuterie and shit.
That's nice.
And then they was like, no, they want you to get out. You're drinking like 8 big-ass beers, and you have this charcuterie, and then you got to split.
You're right.
I'd rather just hang out in, in the mobile loose key studio.
Sure. But yeah, we'll recap that a little bit. We got a bunch of stops because we talked just about those beers on the last episode. And what are we drinking now? We got a red ale. It's been a while, right?
You don't see those too often, man.
That's why I had to get it.
Yeah, man. This is what is it? Bloodletter?
Bloodletter?
Bloodletter.
Yeah. It's a red IPA, 6.7% from Old Irving.
Oh shit! So you got Mosaic, Simcoe, Centennial in the hop profile here, and you got a crazy, creepy old dead monk. No, he's got the sickle. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Some trippy shit.
Yeah, but he's got the Day of the Dead little halo.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the artwork. It's very macabre-esque. I guess because of the red ale, the blood kind of thing. But this red ale feels very boozy.
Yeah.
Like
I guess it's better than a pumpkin ale, right?
I guess our red ale's now a seasonal thing.
What was red ales feel like very throwback, early 2000s style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to say Nosferatu from Great Lakes.
Okay.
I believe that's a red ale.
And then there's a red ale from Two Brothers, not Dumaine DuPage, but
yeah, Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel.
Abel's got some kind of palm sugar or something in it.
Okay.
That's really good. I forgot about that one.
And then there's Founder Says That Red Rye.
And then is Ridiculous a red ale?
Maybe. And then don't we have Brian Brew?
Oh shit! How can we forget about Brian Brew?
Yeah.
Irish red ale.
Right. So that comes out around after the New Year because that's like almost St. Patrick's Day kind of thing.
Red ale's an interesting style. The versatility in seasons, right? It could be kind of any time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some booze and some good bitterness in here.
I'm liking it, and I'm also. It's not refreshing, and it is my first beer of the day. Although you had a lunch beer, I did not.
Yeah.
So this is this feels big for here you go.
6.7% from OIB.
Right, but 6.7 Hazy.
Shouldn't.
I don't know. You'd be doing all right.
This feels bigger.
Yeah.
It's a bold taste profile for the 6.7.
Maybe it's 7.9, 8.
It punches bigger than 6. That's
Damn,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when the Grim Reaper's coming for you.
You could. You don't do a pumpkin. You just stay away from. I don't know if they do a fresh hop, but I forget about the red ale. It's not a style you see a whole lot.
No.
So that's interesting. Proper glassware too here.
I know. I got the glasses, and we both in the last couple of weeks made a stop over to Old Irving. I went for lunch. Picked up this beer. I passed on the Della because I went with their Pils.
That pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, Della is great. It's the award medal winning beer. But I had to get this Pilsner that they had on draft.
Yeah,
And that
what
was, it was nice. It wasn't like anything like, it was no award winning beer, but it was good.
Yeah. I hadn't been to Old Irving in a long time, man. So I wanted to go see what was going on. So, and yeah, I just wanted to keep it light. But I did try their cinnamon stout.
Okay. You got the Della, though.
Oh, but yeah, I started with the Della and then got like a small pour of the. I'm looking for the name here. The name of their it's a white stout.
Yeah. Okay. And I've noticed that that was my first time in there, besides picking up beer since the pandemic started, and they had pared down their menu a little bit. There used to be a few more things on it, and it's a little scaled down than it was.
Yeah. And then the other half of the place was closed to get started
okay.
during the day. You know, that white stout, which I kind of liked. It kind of reminds you of like some kind of breakfast cereal. But I think who was it? It was I think it was Pipeworks that put out a stout a few years ago, like a white stout, and it was like a Big Lebowski inspired.
Oh wait, Russian.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think stout I think their explanation was stout refers to really like a viscosity.
Not a color.
Right. So you can have a white stout,
Okay.
which that was news to me. I just always figured stout was dark.
Yeah.
How the fuck can I pull up this menu, man?
But man, what was I gonna say?
Oh, Till Death is the Pilsner.
Till Death was a Pilsner. And yeah, it was good, but I think I probably, after I had it, I was like, I wish I just would have got the Della.
Yeah, I like Della. Cinnamon Prost is the name of the white stout.
Okay.
So it's Saigon cinnamon, not to be confused with cassia bark.
Right.
Tahitian vanilla bean
And
milk sugar.
they have other that Prost, that white stout. They have other versions of it. That was the cinnamon one, but they do. I have seen a peanut butter Prost and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
I did pick up, I don't know if it's on the menu, it's a Imperial Stout in cans with peanut butter, I don't know, brownies, milkshakes.
Ancient Magic?
Yeah, Ancient Magic.
Cacao nibs, peanut butter, marshmallow. Oh, with Illuminated.
Yeah, so I picked up a couple cans of that. So we do have that on the back burner.
Right on. Oh, yeah, cheers to Illuminated, man. I made my way up there at one point since we last started talking about
Oh, yeah, that's
like,
right.
beer
There's a
stuff.
little story post on that.
Yeah,
How was that?
Norwood Park. I'm not really clear where I was.
Not
bunch
a
of
place.
Slanted streets. I'm like, I don't.
Slanted streets like crooked? Like, walk on an angle?
The streets wobbly, man. You know those streets that run on an angle, man. It was. It's out there. I think it's got to be the edge of the city.
Okay.
Northwest edge. It's not Jeff Park though. I thought was the edge, but nah, Norwood Park is the edge. They're in a strip mall with a car wash and a wine bar. So sandwiched between the car wash and the wine bar.
I had a picture where
It's fucking-
Norwood Park is.
Yeah, I don't know where you park because most of the parking is occupied by people getting
Where do
their
you
car
park
washed.
in Norwood Park?
That's what I'm trying to say. And then it like took like fucking half hour to get to this joint.
So is it on the other side of the expressway like Jefferson Park is?
I'll be honest with you, man. I was turning the fuck around.
Okay.
I'm not sure where I was. I just know on the map is northwest.
But still Chicago.
It's still Chicago. You know, but you can always tell by the street signs where the colors started.
Oh,
and
really?
The font. That never changed.
Are all Chicago street signs like in color?
They're green with the white letters, and it's like a certain font.
Isn't that every town?
No, because some will have green and white, but then the shape of the street sign will be different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You never notice that when you leave the city?
I guess I've always noticed that like all street signs to me are green and white.
Nah, you go to Niles. Niles is white with black letters. You know, shit like that.
Well, some suburbs are like they could try to class it up.
Yeah, but then like the Chicago ones are very. This is funny. This is very sharp square edges, and the other ones are kind of a round, extended oval shape.
Right. Yeah.
know?
They have
Yeah.
rounded corners.
Yeah, rounded corners. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I've never noticed that.
So yeah, this place, man. You know, it's Lodge Number 1, whatever that means. It's
Okay.
almost like a temple of some sort. You know, or some
Like a
sort
mason?
of yeah, like.
Well, I guess Illuminated, like Illuminati. Is that sort of the thing they're going for?
Yeah, they got Jesus on the wall. They got someone who looks just like Bloodletter, statue of them when you walk in.
Is it more religious themed than like Burning Bush?
No, I would say less religious, more, not tribal, but like secret society vibes.
Oh, okay.
Like very strange, like insignias and portraits of like really weird kind of things that you would find in like, an underground society of some kind.
Oh,
It's got that kind of vibe.
weird.
Do
Do you think they just, is that just a vibe, or you think they actually have like a secret society with it?
My only Illuminated story, because they used to brew somewhere near Goose, the original Goose, down by the old studio, down there, wherever that is. And I used to know there's a lawyer who does a lot of IP work for a lot of breweries, and Illuminated and Clint from Lake Effect will tell me this. Illuminated would have these bonfires at their space.
Okay.
They didn't have a public facing space. They just made beer, and they had these bonfires. And Clint would go down there and tell me about these weird ass bonfires, and you got to go and how rad it is. And then I told the lawyer that because he said he's working on something with Illuminated. He's like, yeah, I keep telling them to quit having these fucking fires and inviting people to them. But that was their thing.
Well, yeah, you can't. Any sort of open fire in Chicago is illegal. Like anyone who has like an outdoor fire pit or bonfire thing, that's illegal. You can't do that.
So that probably played into why he was against it.
Yeah, a lawyer is going to be like,
He's like, what the fuck are you doing?
People have them in their backyards. That's full on illegal. Like you can't do that.
Really?
Yeah, you have a fire in your backyard. That's like, it's kind of like, hey, just don't burn the city down kind of thing. But you can't do it. Like it's against the law.
This is like the Curb Your Enthusiasm thing I was watching, where he had to have a 5-foot gate around his pool.
Yeah,
like,
I was kind of wondering on that episode. Like he has a fence around his house.
Yeah, and,
So you
and the cops come and they're like, "You didn't have a fence around your pool?"
Yeah.
But they so I know them from the bonfires, but then for some reason, man, in Rogers Park, they would throw these a record shop would always throw.
Oh, that's right. You and
Yeah.
After Beatrick would go there all the time.
Yeah, she would always be like putting together these bottle shares at record shops, and the beer choice was always Illuminated, and that's when I really got to try a lot of their stuff. So a lot of sour stuff, a lot of cool IPAs, a lot of funky artwork. And flavors were there. I'm like, well, this shit is good. I'm glad they're here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny on the sour thing, on the same Illuminated thing. Had some people over the weekend, and they brought Burning Bush, which is right down Irving Park, not too far from where we're recording from. And they apparently do really good sours.
Really?
I hadn't known. I didn't even have one of them, but the people that brought it were like, we went there because we like their sours. I had their Oktoberfest, which is a little lighter of an Oktoberfest, but I don't know. They left me some sours, so.
I like going to places when they're brand new, get out and do something cool. So I went once, and I never went back. And they had just, they only had like a couple of their beers on and mostly guests. So I got in and got out. But I don't remember it being like, like I got to get back here. But, things change. We say that all the time. From your opening week to, a year later, you grow into your thing, and your shit's probably totally different from when you open.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I still haven't made it to actually go there, and I'm really not that far from it, so I need to make sure I fix that soon.
Yeah. Dude's like a legit, like, pastor or some shit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the whole Burning Bush thing.
Right.
Yeah.
How we get Illuminated. And then the other stop I made, which I'm going again after we record this tomorrow, so I'll probably talk about it again on the next episode, but stop by Eris.
Oh, right on. The goddess of chaos, Michelle Foyk.
They also have limited their menu a bit, and definitely limited their beer and cider menu. It's not as big as it once was. Maybe they're ramping it back up, but it felt like I was like, there's like 2 ciders. I don't know. What am I like? I was a little
That's interesting.
underwhelmed by my choices, but that just helps you make a easier choice.
Yeah. It got to take too long. You got
And
one of 4. Here you go.
What I have? I had their Oktoberfest, and it was good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the cider hybrids, like the beer cider hybrids.
Okay, yeah.
Speaking of that, one more note about Illuminated. They had a 8-ounce can collab with City Winery. So it was a wine seltzer.
Oh, interesting.
I took a picture of it. I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I like the beer a little bit better though.
Okay.
But yeah. But speaking of like hybrids,
Yeah. So probably going there, since I went there recently to Eris, I'll probably like get something else, get the hybrid, get maybe one of the or not one of the ciders or something like that, rather than that. Oktoberfest was good, and I feel like I am not done with Oktoberfest, even though Christmas ales are on the shelf.
I guess they should be, but yeah, like I'd rather have a Marzen than a fucking Christmas ale.
I know,
Really,
but but you have to buy the Christmas ales now, so you have them for Christmas. Otherwise, that December rolls around and they're gone, and they're on like whatever the spring beers are. They're on like the dry hop beers or
Fucking, what's the one that always up in Wisconsin?
fresh hop beers.
The my box season will be here in no time, right?
Wasn't my box the same as
like a spring,
Yeah,
like a spring, right?
yeah.
I think like end of winter kind of beer. Christmas ales, man. I haven't even had. I did have a pumpkin when I was with my kid. I had a pumpkin at some place. Oh, but I'm really like, I don't want Christmas ales, man. I'd rather have. I've only had like 2 Oktoberfest all season. I'd rather have that.
I like Christmas ales way more than pumpkin beers. Like pumpkin beers,
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't really see as many pumpkin beers as I used to. I feel like you'd see them a lot more, and that got dialed down a bit. Maybe I don't know. They're like, not that they're basic, but I think the audience that would have maybe gravitated to the pumpkin spiced beer drinks seltzer now.
Yeah, and if you have to have a beer, pumpkin is really more of a spice beer, so you'd rather just get the Christmas beer because
Right.
those are both kind of spicy.
But a Christmas ale, there's something about like that, the maltiness of Christmas ales that I kind of dig.
St. Bernardus is my go-to Christmas ale.
So maybe we'll have to do a Christmas ale off. I guess I have to start picking them up because they're gonna be gone. I saw Goose's. I think Sierra Nevada Christmas and
Oh, celebration.
yeah, and I saw someone else. I didn't see Revs yet.
Fistmas.
Fistmas, yeah.
Last couple years, the Santa on the Fistmas has been like ass naked in like a barrel with some suspenders.
Oh shit.
That's been him the last few years on that can.
Oh,
I want to see him on the tall 19.2.
Fistmas?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
that'd be cool.
So you the fist of Fistmas right there. Speaking of Rev, we talked about him like a couple episodes ago with some messed up audio and everything, but you went for the things like we talked about. I was like, I should go, and then I didn't go. So you went and you got razzle dazzled.
The kickoff to Deep Woods, yeah. So that's when all the variants were on display, and I got to give them a lot of credit, man, because everyone's there to pick up their stuff Friday at noon.
Yeah.
But then either they hold back beers for Saturday, or they just make enough for both days because it's everything you want without all the people there.
Okay.
So I go there to try all these beers, and there's like very little foot traffic. It's like super fucking chill, and I get to try all the beers and have a lager.
All right, I should have did that.
It was a last minute thing. Razzle from LA Guns.
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
Wasn't that what it's called? Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. Everybody knew this reference, but us, I think.
The LA Guns thing, I still forgot. I forgot, and someone told us, or you looked it up.
So that was Death by Raspberries with coffee, Passion House coffee.
Okay.
And then there was a Weller single barrel of VSOD,
Okay.
which was killer. And then there was a Wild Turkey single barrel of, I got the picture right here, man, but there were 3.
All right. How did you feel? They stood up. We had the Goose Island stuff afterwards. How do you feel like a Wild Turkey barrel stood up against like a Bland's?
Yeah. Oh, Cocoa Nut. That's what it was. Cocoa Nut. Coconut was called Primal Coconut Deeth, and that was a single barrel Wild Turkey.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of coconut, so it didn't wow me over the top coconut aromatics, but by the second sip, all you get is like really fun coconut undertones. It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah. The single barrel VSOD, I think coconut I give the nod to coconut in that lineup.
Okay.
I don't think Death by Raspberries with coffee is for me. Now, because I don't put fruit in my coffee anyway. Yeah, so like,
No one puts fruit. No one's like, let me just drop some berries in this coffie I made.
I mean, so these coffee flavors with the Death by Raspberries didn't do it for me.
Okay.
That's all.
That's not what people do.
Well, I mean, but the inspiration for this came from somewhere, right?
Right, but coffees have those fruit flavors. Like when like a Ergachev is going to have like more of a blueberry kind of undertone to it. So you're trying to like amp up those
That makes a lot of
flavors
that makes
from
a
your
lot of sense.
coffee.
Yeah. Okay. See, it makes more sense now.
So I feel like maybe that's often what those fruit flavors are supposed to do. They're supposed to just amp up the fruit that's already in those coffees.
Yeah.
Just kind of get them more.
I will say this though, man. Like much in the way that prop from Goose this year, the strawberry ice cream prop, just had this really cool strawberry thing all the way front to back.
Yeah.
That Death by Raspberry does that same thing with raspberry. Just big, bright, cool fucking raspberry flavor all the way through. And it's not in an annoying way either. It's just like, just kind of really well done and interesting and just, it's good,
Yeah.
I'm not like annoyed by the raspberry like I thought I would be because there's a ton of it. And you're just like, wow, they really packed this bitch with raspberries, like raspberry jam, but it's good. All
right.
Yeah, so I was reminded of that.
Nice.
So that was fun.
So yeah, but on the wild turkey thing, were you digging that barrel over Blanton's or the Old Forester or anything like that on the Goose side?
The Weller single barrel, what was it? VSOD. That's the dog fight right there. And I'm one of those guys, and we should have prefaced this, maybe for my own self, we should have prefaced like, it's important to have the OG next to the variant so you could really see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I didn't really appreciate VSOD until I had it next to Weller in the bottle last year. But just having it on an island, I'm just like, man, well, the viscosity is way different. It's heavier, it's richer. But outside of that, like how it stacks up to, the Blantons or the 150, is kind of hard unless I have them side by side,
Yeah.
Like, but out of that lineup, you can notice it right away on just the way it sticks.
Is there something in, not that we have or are able to get more bottles of any of the Goose stuff, but is there something that you could see, I don't know, going 1-to-1 with? Like, what would be if you had to try them together on the Rev side versus the Goose side?
Oh, like what is you mean like if you're picking your battle and you're choosing your player, like who do you choose from each side, like that?
Right, like is the Whistle Pig Rev going up against the Old Forester? Like, would that be like one to see? Like, which one you gonna go with here?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because where Rev I think gets it. Well, Rev kills it with these fucking barley wines and these rye wines to the point where there is no wheat wine or barley wine from Goose coming out this year.
Right. So I guess there's no Imperial Stout.
Yeah, I think on draft, I think Rev brings it with these stouts. But I think in packaging, you might have to give the nod to what Goose is doing. Because Goose doesn't have these crazy variants that they invite you out to their pub to try. Goose is like, let's come up with crazy variants all year, and then the best ones we put in it, we package it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's what I want to say.
All right. I was just wondering if.
So look at what's been the last 4 stouts from Rev? Because if we're talking just stouts.
Right. We had Cafe D's.
Yeah, Supermassive.
Supermassive.
VSOD. I put VSOD up against anything that came out from Goose. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think like that 150, the blends and the Weller and the Birthday are all competitive with VSOD.
But we talked about, we put prop 2021 prop number 2 because that raspberry from Revolution was prop better. Like, is that the better comparison?
Yeah, I was wondering, and I was asking you, I was wondering if we were like kind of prisoners of the moment, where like we really like prop, but how good is it? Like, is it really better than
right?
Craig? Or is it just good right now?
Does it? That is a tough thing when you drink all 8 of them.
Yeah.
prop stands out because it tastes different. Like
Yeah.
when you're having them all, it's like, I remember that one. I can pick it out of the lineup.
Yeah.
So it moves up in the lineup. Is it better? That's tough. Like in hindsight.
You gotta pick one, right? Like, did you
Right.
did you revisit the bottles from?
I revisit Cola, and then I had some other people. They tried them, and Cola was fine. It was kind of where I thought it was. It was again better than I expected it to be, but not overly crazy that I remember it, I guess.
As we're talking about this, I'm reminded of Death by Cherries and how much I love that beer. I think that's probably my favorite of all the stouts with fruit that Rev has put out. You know, and I think Rev gets the nod for like the execution of fruit and stouts, because fruit and stouts can go left really fucking fast.
And the coffee too. Like Goose didn't
and
Goose
the coffee.
didn't do coffee this year because not because, but Rev has Cafe Deeth. They have Supermassive. I think there's another coffee, like something with coffee in that lineup too, but maybe I'm wrong.
But those are the big two.
Those are the big two.
You know, I'm talking about at VSOD on a pedestal is among stouts, but then I forget how fucking cool Supermassive was.
Supermassive is nuts. Supermassive is like the first time you have a nitro iced coffee.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it's like creamy and rich. And when you had
Yeah.
Supermassive, it was like, wait, the beer can have that much coffee flavor in it? It's crazy.
The range on the beers that Rev is packaging is second to none, I think. You know, yeah. And if you isolate, you know, just the stouts, then Rev kind of comes forward with all these killer fucking fruit beers, and then the VSO days and the coffee. The coffees are better at Rev. The coffee beers are better.
Right.
So that's a tough call. Like, the more we're talking about it, I'm just kind of blinded sometimes by super cool barrel. You know, like, oh, look, 150. Oh, Blanton's. Like, these are cool barrels. But I mean, if I'm taking the totality of the stouts on each side,
Yeah,
that's an interesting.
and we talked about in the episode, or maybe on the post game on Instagram, that the Goose Island beers have felt very cohesive this year and all like one thing, and there wasn't any of those weird outliers, the barley wine or coffee or vanilla or like I don't know, like standout ones. And was it because Rev does them and they want to be in their own category? That's a dangerous game to play. Like, is Goose Island doing things because they don't want you to compare that to Rev, and Rev is doing things because they don't want to step on what, like, how friendly are they being versus just like, this is what worked this year. No matter what, each brewery is going to tell you this was the best execution this year.
And that's exactly what they said, you know. And if you look at what they say versus what we talk about, what everyone's talking about, not just us, it's pretty clear. Well, everybody's doing what they're good at, right?
Right.
Goose's sweet spot is we got these relationships that nobody else has, and then Goose will tell you, and I agree with this to some extent. They're like, hey, other people can have these barrels, but they don't make Bourbon County style like we do. So they have a unique flavor profile in these barrels, and I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Right.
And I think also, like, there's a reason they're not making coffee and barley wine. There's a reason for that, you know. And the reason's all fun. The reason's a fucking Avondale, you know.
Yeah, it could be Rev. Like I think said on the live stream, I think the coffee for the amount of beer Goose needs to make is probably just, it's not cost effective at that point. And if it sits on the shelf and doesn't sell, that's not good for Goose or the beer.
Yeah.
It's a coffee beer. So.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're kind of pushing each other, you know.
Yeah,
And
right?
they're digging deeper into the thing that they're good at, and we as consumers get to see this kind of ballad, Clash of the Titans, man. This is a good time for
Right.
fucking
And
beer.
it is like, we're kind of going back and forth here. You can't take one from each brewery and be like, this one is a better version of this. Like, and that's what you want to see.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think
that-
you're right.
Like, this is a great stout. This is a great barley wine, and they're not like competing on each other. They're also two different occasions where
The
Rev
closest,
stuff is in the cans, and Goose stuff is a little more formal offering, a little I don't know.
more traditional for
Yeah.
the stout format. Yeah, I think the closest we've gotten to that fight you're talking about is Weller 2-year and VSOD, which is also a 2-year extended age.
Okay.
And I think those two, we should have those. We should have them to close out maybe the year. We should close out the year with those.
Okay.
Because I hit those up on my birthday last year, and I was like, which one of these is better? That's the only time I've had that conversation. It's either one or the other. In the other cases, it's like, I like this thing from them or this thing from them. The only time I didn't know which one was better was VSOD versus the Weller BCS.
Oh, okay.
Both 2-year-old 2-year-old stouts.
All right, interesting. But then you'd have a brewery like Three Floyds. We're talking about them with Brian Brew. Dark Lord Day tickets sold out very quickly. They're doing an Imperial Stout. They have variants. They're not as good as Rev or Goose's, right? Like they're different, but they're not as enjoyable, I want to say. Like they are fun to try. They're not one you're going to be like, I wish I had another bottle of that.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're the ones that are coming out with the most variants in most cases too, right? Dark Lord is what is it? It's a barrel aged. No, it's not. The OG Dark Lord is not barrel aged.
But it's a coffee stout.
It's a coffee stout.
Right.
Yeah.
With dark matter coffee.
Yeah.
Like Cafe Deeth. Cafe Deeth is way better. 100 times better.
Oh shit. Yeah.
If you just had to
you just say Cafe Deeth versus Dark Lord,
because it's Imperial Stout versus a coffee Imperial Stout.
Then yeah, it's not close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason, Dark Lord's got the party.
Oh, but Cafe Deeth is barrel aged.
Yeah, because Death Star's barrel aged.
Yeah.
See, so we're back to just.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing about Dark Lord though, like I think.
But Big Hugs is better than.
Is Big Hugs
Is
Big Hugs better than Dark Lord?
Yeah, it's way more balanced.
It is more balanced. I don't know. I like Hugs. I like Hugs, and I kind of like Dark Lord. I don't know. I don't know if I like Dark Lord more than Hugs. But then I don't know if I like Hugs more than Dark Lord. I'm neutral on that one. I don't know. Neither one for me. Oh, but vanilla bourbon barrel aged Dark Lord, I think, is in that conversation with the dogfight we're talking about with these other stouts. If I was just picking one, I think everything else that I've tried, and it's so hard because it changes every year. French Vanilla Militia, chemtrail mix, which is like peppercorns, white pepper, and those two are often really good every year. Chemtrail mix more so than French Vanilla, but the one that is without a doubt good every fucking year is now it's called Marshmallow Hangy, but vanilla barrel aged Dark Lord.
Okay.
So that would be the one Dark Lord I'd put in that fight with those other two.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what happened with Dark Lord Day tickets, or what's going on? They sold out very quickly, as they often do.
Yeah, they so there were two packages this year. You had a 2021 package and a 2020 package.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So you
They're
could
like, please buy this old stuff that no one.
So
we don't have people coming to the brewery to eat and drink anymore.
So you could get, there was OG Dark Lord in both packages, but the variants were the difference. So last year's variants, you want last year's variants or this year's variants, and you're guaranteed, I think, 3 variants.
Okay.
2, yeah. And 2 of them are going to be different, and you get 3, something like that.
So were you better off going in on somebody with somebody and be like, all right, we're both gonna go pick these up or whatever.
Well, they
go 2020, I'll go 2021.
And if you this is actually a good question. The 2020 list was way longer than the 2021 variant list.
Oh.
So for 2020, they ran back all the variants from last year. So you had a choice of like 7 or 8 variants. But then the 2021, this year's variant list was very short. It was only 3. Really, probably the best 3, the most consistent 3. Yeah. Let me back up. 2 of because 1 is a new variant. So what is it? Chemtrail Mix is in the variant for this year, and so is Hangy. And then they got a new one that they dedicate to Barnaby, which is, but it's a totally different variant. So that's like the classic for people who like the sweeter wine cask variant of Dark Lord. It's for them because it's using one of those kind of cask.
Okay.
I forget what they're called. Sauternes or some shit. I don't fucking drink sweet ass wine, so I don't fucking know.
So did you get tickets?
I mean, I said I wasn't. Then I saw this list.
You get both?
No, no. I just got the 2021.
21.
2021 is the one that ended in about an hour. And then the 2020s were still available for, maybe a day or so.
And you thought it
I looked at the list.
a couple times.
But here's the thing. You got these 8. You got these 8 on last
You
year's list.
went to sleep. You looked at it. You went to sleep. You
I'm like,
got
man, they're
out
still
there,
available.
it's still available.
I'm like, man, no, it's just going to, because, 160 a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. 300 on fucking Dark Lord? 300 with any one brewery.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I might as well get a couple bottles of whiskey with this 300, man. I mean, some good shit,
So did you get to pick the variant?
Nah, they pick them for you, but there's only 3. So, and 2 of them are going to be different. So you're guaranteed to get 2 of the 3.
Okay.
So I figured that was enough to bring me out. You know?
Okay. You're better than the 2 of the 20.
If they came with 8 variants in 2021, I'm out.
Okay.
Unless I can pick them.
Right.
You don't want to get stuck in one of these ones you don't know shit about. Or we've been down this road with those wine barrels.
Yeah.
And it's not for me.
So when can you get them? When are you picking them up?
What is that? Thursday through a Sunday. I think it's the 8th through the 11th or something like that.
November?
Yeah. So like next week.
Next week?
2
All
weeks.
right, damn.
Yeah. Gotta go out to Munster, man.
Well, it's a little farther than Norwood Park, where we're not sure where it is, but it's farther. Or Munster's farther than Norwood Park.
And then phase 3 is actually the following week. Third phase, as some people call it. They got a barrel age party coming up too.
Okay. Actual party or
This is
just?
an actual party.
Oh shit.
Yeah, where they've got 25 people per session, and then
That's not a party.
and then they're doing like 5 sessions. How many motherfuckers you want to see, Brad? At the phase 3?
I don't know. We had like 20 people over here over the weekend, and that was like
That's a party.
that's a party for like individual. That's not a party for like a place, a company.
I dig this. I dig the 20-person party, man.
Yeah, I think it's
Bring it
fine,
on.
but
You get the whole place to yourself. 25 people in a big ass brewery. You got the little front tasting room, and then you got the actual brew house, and all that shit's gonna be open.
you gotta go with someone else, because like something like Phobab, where there's a lot more people. We'll talk about in a sec. You can run into people and talk, but if you're by yourself and there's 20 people, 25 people, you're like,
They all be
these
clicked-
people suck.
They're gonna be clicked up. Yeah, you won't know anybody. You'd be hanging out at the bar, asking.
On your phone,
You're that guy on the wall at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a wall. You're a wallflower, man.
So, are you going to the phase 3 one?
I actually thought this was a lottery, and I just knew I wasn't gonna win, so I entered it.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh shit, this ain't a lottery. I just bought this fucking ticket.
So you go.
I'm like, I'm either going or trying to get out of it. But Lake Zurich is cool all the way up to the point where it's time to go to fucking Lake Zurich, man.
Right.
You fuck around, I had to stay up there,
Yeah.
They're doing dress
You got Chris Jacobson not far from there.
hardcore craft beers up there.
Yeah. So,
He's got a nice pad. Maybe he'll let me crash, man.
yeah, there you go.
He's got he got a fun little cat too.
Just bring him.
He's gonna be like, give me your minutiae. They're calling it minutiae, but I don't know what that means.
Is that one of the variants?
No, that's the bottle you get.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the bottle, and then you get like a choice of 4 pours from this draft list. So this is the stripped down barrel only version of their barrel program. Because all their stuff is like adjunct heavy.
Okay.
A lot of the barrel stuff is.
Right.
So this is the base beer.
Okay.
That ought to be cool.
Cool.
I like him as a brewer, man. I think he's dialed in, man. He's dialed in on the barrel aged stuff for sure.
Nice.
So
So I mentioned Phobab, and that's an event coming up that tickets are going on sale. They probably have gone on sale since this episode has been up, but there are 2 sessions, and I believe it's Friday and Saturday, right? Not
Yeah,
2 Saturdays?
no, Friday and Saturday. The awards are Saturday.
Yeah. And I think we'll be there Saturday.
I think so. Yeah. Noon to 5. In-person awards for the first time in a couple of years.
Yeah. Then I got to go to a friend's birthday party apiece.
So you got to split.
Yeah.
So you're gonna split like as soon as they announce best in show. Brad's out of there.
Yeah, I got to go. It's
Yeah.
a like 4 o'clock birthday thing. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
And you
he's like 80 years old having dinner at 4 o'clock.
I mean, probably be doing the same shit.
Fobab on the bike, just riding over there.
So you're going Fobab then Peace?
Yeah.
One year we did Fobab and then went up to Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you doing that.
And that was cool. It seemed more dangerous than it was.
It seemed like the dumbest thing ever.
I'm like, it's cold. Well, I think we're fine. You know.
But yeah, Fobab pretty fun. I don't know what to expect this year, so I'm going in, very, I guess, low expectations.
Yeah.
I also have to leave before it ends, so yeah.
I'm just looking to try a bunch of shit that I wouldn't go to these places to see, just like any other event, I guess, right?
Right.
I'm just going to get all the cool beers it's Fobab, so you ain't got to look too far for cool beers.
Right. One thing, man, it's kind of funny. You want to go to a brew fest where the brewers or someone that knows the beer is pouring because you can talk to them, but also it hangs you up. Like Fobab has volunteers pouring, so you're able to like get through stuff very quickly. You're not like, oh man, I gotta try your beer because like I want to say hi to you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't really want to try your thing because that's not that it's not good, but I got other things to get to.
They need to let us in this joint early. You remember when it was
survey the land.
Yeah. You remember when it was out in Bridgeport, and everybody brought their camera gear and shit. That was one of my favorite ones because, Jared Rubin's pouring all his beers. He's like, let me pour all 4 of these for you. And, and you get to watch the whole thing build up.
Yeah.
Like I miss those days. But then also, and I think that's more important now because, Fobab now is like a national thing. So you get these breweries from like Colorado and Virginia, all the cool kid breweries from like New York and all this other shit. Places, and they're not going to fuck around because they came so far to pour this shit. Like, I remember Weldworks was there, and the guy, Weldworks dude, was pouring his own fucking beer, And I'm like, well, shit, I need to be there early so I can understand what's going on, Because I want to try some of the out-of-town shit. And you can't drink it all, so.
Yeah, it's tough.
So we need to get in this joint early, man.
I guess, yeah. Just show up right away.
Like, hey, what's going on?
It's us.
Hey.
Let us in.
Hey.
Cool. What else we got? We got an event we missed, which was the Northwest Side Beer Fest at Twisted Hippo.
It's fucked up because both of us spent a lot of time on the Northwest Side.
I know. I was gonna like swing by, and then I ran out of time that day, and so.
I just saw the photos afterwards. I know Michelle was there.
Yeah.
And Twisted Hippo was there.
Well, yeah. I hope they were there. It was at their place. We're
Oh,
not
it was there?
I thought it was like right there. Yeah.
I don't know how.
So we missed that, unfortunately. And then, what else we got? We got the news of Mikkeller.
We were talking about Mikkeller in the pre-show and how Mikkeller, they got 23 satellite bars around the world, and they also have that collaboration with
Good Wi-Fi at all these bars.
all the bars, good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, or it's at Brewdogs.
Brewdog?
Brewdogs has Brewdogs is not Mikkeller.
No,
They've done
Brewdog
stuff
and
with
different.
Mikkeller.
Brewdog is Scotland.
All right, Brewdogs Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Real good. If you go to another country, go to a Brewdogs. Great Wi-Fi.
I know Brad picks out these nuances for you. Like he'd be like, go to corridor. You gotta get the salad in corridor. It's just always like the most random things at fucking pubs. Mikkeller, yeah, man, they were in the news because they do this annual festival over in Copenhagen, and like 30 breweries pulled out because apparently Mikkeller is being hit with all these, allegations from former managers about being racist and being sexist, and they're not doing shit about it, and how they have a toxic culture. So GBH ran a story on it, and then it was all about, some examples where the women there, they have like a shitty HR, or the HR is kind of non-existent, and, they don't, managers would tell women like, yeah, you only got this job because I want to bone you, like that kind of, like some really foul shit, and yeah, so Mikkeller never said anything, but then people started pulling out of this festival, so then Mikkeller started making public comments to address these allegations. So it was a story that I read over on Kaiser's website, Good Beer Hunting. Kaiser, former guest on the show,
right?
Like twice.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
That's I don't ever have Mikkeller beer unless I'm like maybe in another country or Wait, is there a Mikkeller in San Francisco?
There is.
Yeah, I've been there. Man, it's nice. I like all the designs of Mikkeller. So it's probably Mikkeller in San Francisco is probably not doing well after all this, because
In the Tenderloin district, I've been to that one.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how that's terrible for them. But it's
It brings up an extended thought about like how beer beer is small and local, but then beer is also you got 24 bars around the world.
Right.
It's everything in between, and sometimes these things come out, and you often wonder like how it affects the consumer. Like whether it's the founders thing, right, where they apparently hate black people, right, or if it's like the Goose thing where they apparently threaten to close a fucking pub if they if they unionize. This was in the Tribune.
Sure.
So it's like, and I often wonder like, does it affect the way people, or like Firestone Walker's known Trump supporters.
Right, and the fact that Mikkeller's in all these other countries, not that the racism and sexism levels are different everywhere. Not that they're like good anywhere, but like they're like there's different. Not that there's different levels of it, but it's like taken differently in like another country versus the U.S. Like so, what happened in one country versus here? Like it might be like really bad there, and we might be like, that happened, or like something like that. So it's kind of like none of it's good, but
I wonder
like what I don't know what I didn't read the story. I don't know what happened.
No one. I got some clips of it. I wonder if beer's a funny thing because like I wonder if it doesn't affect you personally, you don't really stop drinking the beer.
Right, like I wasn't drinking Mikkeller. I do. It's also like expensive in general, so that's one like they're often like they're like more expensive than other beers. Although that breakfast for brunch,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Geek brunch.
Beer Geek brunch, like they're good, but I have better beers to drink. I don't need to drink that. Like I'm not gonna drink Founders beer, and it's around, and so that's but I also have like better choices locally of people that are like good people. So Mikkeller's like, hey, I was already not drinking you, so this does not affect me, but they should not do that. I don't know.
You weren't on my radar.
You should be better people.
Yeah. I do like that a bunch of breweries pulled out of this festival and make a point about it.
Yeah, that's good.
I think there's that's something to be applauded.
Yeah.
Injustice is injustice, right? No matter where it is. So
yeah.
What's it?
Was there another? Wasn't there another? Was it a Founders thing where people pulled out of, or was it some other U.S. fest where people were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that because you guys did this thing."
You guys appear to be like suspect or just flat out shitty people.
Was it
So we're
Founders?
pulling
Was
out.
it a Founders or was it? I feel like it was somebody. I'm blanking on who this was, and then they had to like be like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do the fest now."
People keep saying we're the bad guys, so we're not saying we're the bad guy. We're just saying we can't do the party anymore. I knew, when I thought about talking about this, I knew it was gonna end up like, I'm like, me and Brad are gonna bring this up, and we're gonna fuck around. We're gonna fuck around with this topic.
I don't know. I don't know. It's fucked up. I don't know. Like, there's really no better way to say it. Man, I wish I could remember who that was. That
No, I'm drawing a blank.
they're gonna have a
Because there haven't been a ton of parties lately.
Right. Who was it? And then
Why'd they pull out? Because some similar shit where
it was like similar, and then they just like people were like, "Okay, yeah, we're not gonna do this now." Was it Stone? Was it like a Stone Fest? Like not. I feel like they had like women issues that they had going on.
I'm drawing a blank.
As
I know.
like almost most breweries do. They always have women issues.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
not,
there's
not a good environment.
yeah. So, but to wrap that point up, breweries pulling out of a festival to make a point about employees being treated like shit is noteworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for the breweries, and yeah, hopefully Mikkeller like cleans up their act because they do have interesting pubs, interesting artwork, and like I don't know, a different take on the beer industry than other people.
I got a War Pigs t-shirt. I love that War Pigs t-shirt.
Oh yeah, didn't
Now I'm like, man, should I wear this shirt? They around here?
didn't Warpig or Three Floyd say something about a comment on this about?
Well, they have a shared brew pub in Copenhagen with War Pigs is a Three Floyds Mikkeller project.
Right.
So they're like half and half, and they got they do brisket and shit. It's a pub in Copenhagen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would assume they did. Yeah.
Okay, but I felt like Three Floyds, or maybe it was what's the brew pub next, or not the brew pub, the bar next to Cheval, Cheval.
Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf, because they're technically, I thought, but they have a lot of War
They
Pig
always
stuff.
have like fucking 8.
So I feel like I saw like a War Pig statement on the Mikkeller thing. They probably pulled out.
Yeah. Speaking of Floyd's and Mikkeller, I'm just really glad that for Floyd's like 15th or anniversary or whatever, they aged a lot of those Dark Lord variants in their distillery cask.
Okay.
So it's like this whiskey aged in all these Three Floyds, and I'm glad they didn't do that this year.
Oh, they didn't do this.
No,
Okay.
it's because only 3.
Okay.
They were like, hey, look at all these cool casks we got from our distillery that's been open for 2 years. And we're like, this is too many choices. This is too many choices.
Okay. Cool. Anything else? Otherwise, did this people pulling out of event topic kill this episode?
I
I think we don't know enough about that we rambled on about it.
we did a little ramble there, and it just kept going. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode and our overly boozy red IPA from Old Irving. Nick, where can people find you, get in touch when we're not here?
Hey man, I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD, Chicago Beer Pass, Twitter, Instagram, website, chicagobeerpass.com. And we'll be back soon with another episode. Take care.
Cheers.